It's Nolan.
Pardon my dad, but not better get it right back. Pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me, pardon me. Yeah, pardon my juice, pardon my swag, pardon my flavors, pardon my dad, pardon my strut, pardon my bag. Might take a loss, better get it right back. Pardon me, 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 pardon me. Yeah, thinking about nothing but paper. Becoming one with my nature. Shawty be loving it, promise the covenant that I would never replace it. Time to tell if that's true. Damn if I don't, in hell if I do. But I ain't never had a feeling like you. Even got by the jail with my crew. Send it all now. Swim to a crib, I need slow down. Swim profound. Probably make a nigga like me go down. Probably make a nigga like me go to town. Grocery list on my ex don't exist. I'm emotionally fit and my soul delete shit, but they choose to resist. Get out that line, we can cease and desist. Reason is this. Most selected with my aura, yeah. Most selected with my orders. Will let my vision get distorted, yeah. Cause I got flavors in the assortment, yeah. Time wasted, can't afford it, positive energy hoarded, yeah. Travel the world like a tourist, yeah. Holla back in the morning. Part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dad, part of my strut, part of my bag. If I take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah. Part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dad, part of my strut, part of my bag. Might take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah. Turn up the oldies and jazz, only emoji I know is the cash. Working so hard in this game, now my object is filling them grocery bags. Niggas be killing my line, women be tripping, they killing my vibe. Only my homies been hissing so fight. Look at my crew, they been here the whole time. Blast back, cash back, clean like hazmat, ooh. Finna hit a stain for the cash out, ooh. Finna put my team on the map like, ooh. Brought it from the dirt, nigga rap like, bro. Bitch gang, rich gang, Jews on display. Bruce Lee flow, high up for the kick gang. Stirring up the pot, whole time got the wrist gang. Shot y'all, I'm stick down like wet paint. My drip a stack at the bread. Call me a dog, might snap, look a pit. Southside nigga with the rats on deck. Spotlight on me, you snap, you a pitch. Shit, I'm looking like a lid. What a nigga pay for the fit. Got it for the free, I ain't playing with the chip. Any day, nigga might push up in the bill. 40 gon' bang, lemonade, song, part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dad, part of my strut, part of my bag. If I take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah. Part of my juice, part of my swag, part of my flavors, part of my dad, part of my strut, part of my bag. Might take a loss, better get it right back. Part of me, 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 yeah.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another live edition of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Yes, indeed, we are live. I told y'all we were going to be doing this more often. I'm sticking to my word. I'm sticking to the plan. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Big shout out to Queen. Big shout out to Tatiana. Big shout out to Lexi G, Beaky, Wanda 2 Real, GH Sunday Shift. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? I see y'all. Happy Memorial Day. Happy holidays. Hope everyone is having a great one. I wanted to try to start the show with something upbeat because I definitely want to make sure that we have good energy in this show today. Big shout out to Queen, who's actually tuning in from work right now. You know what I'm saying? I hate that you at work, but you say you ain't finna do a motherfucking thing now that we live. So big love to you on that one. You know what I mean? Chicken tenders, what's happening? Jiren, Lillian, what's happening with it? All right. Now, y'all know over the weekend there was a bit of controversy. Miss Nicki Minaj did find herself in a bit of trouble, right? She got arrested in Amsterdam. She was trying to fly out to get to Manchester so that she could get to her next show for the Pink Friday 2 Gag City tour on the international level. Unfortunately, she got stifled up on the way. She had a few pre-rolled joints in her luggage. She claimed that it was her security's weed. Unfortunately, the Amsterdam police said, nah, you following through. So they booked her, they put her in the paddy wagon, they took her in, they held her for like 4-5 hours or something to that effect, to where it became increasingly difficult for her to get to Manchester in time. Unfortunately, she was not able to make it, so they had to cancel the show. As of today, they have now come up with a new date, but we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. Once again, shout out to everyone in the chat, B-Hop, Sasha, who else I see in here? Girls Love Talk, what's happening? Who else we got? Sean's budgeting journey was good with you. Baby doll, what's happening? So yeah. Oh, your display is all good. It's okay. No worries. But yeah. So new updates on Nicki Minaj have come out. I did not do any content yesterday. I decided to spend time with the family. I really sat in my office for a little minute too. Like, damn, can I come up with something? And I just wasn't moved. So I skipped. So today we're going to catch up on a couple of things. And we'll get to the newly locked in date for Miss Nicki Minaj and her tour. All right. But the first thing I want to get into is the statement she put out fresh out of the Slammer when she spoke to her fans, right? So she came out and said, "Thank you to everyone who prayed for me today." And this was over the weekend. This is not this morning. We're going to get to all that. "Thank you to everyone who prayed for me today. May God cover you all and all that is connected to you. May you be blessed beyond your imagination." So she turned this into a religious thing, you know? And I mean, of course, getting locked up in a foreign country is a scary thing. I want to make sure that I put that on Front Street. I don't ever want to be in that position myself. But of course, I don't think I would do anything to put myself in that position, hopefully. She continues, "Barbs, I'm at the Stock Exchange Hotel in Manchester. I arrived a little over an hour ago. After sitting in a jail cell for 5 to 6 hours, my plane still didn't take off for another 20 minutes. Once I boarded, the flight was 50 minutes. All right. So she was in holding for 5 to 6 hours, which of course is extremely uncomfortable for anyone. And then the plane took an extra 20 minutes when she got on, and it took 50 minutes in flight, which I don't know why she goes 50 minutes, and says it twice when you told people it was a 45-minute to an hour flight to begin with. So it's not like it was exorbitant, but cool. She continues, "That's why they had to do the big song and dance, because they knew I'd still find a way to perform, even if it came down to my last 90 minutes in the building, to which would have been 11:30 p.m. The building was willing to go past 11 p.m., so grateful to them for that. So they succeeded at their plan to not let me get on that stage tonight. I succeeded at getting to the root of it all by recording them and posting everything in real time. I have so much video evidence. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. I'll have the lawyers and God take it from here, though." So, you know, in her favor, if she recorded all of this and she was treated unjustly, if there's something to come out later, if she ends up winning a settlement or winning a certain amount of money from Amsterdam and suing the police or suing whomever, then, hey, I'm not here to rag on her. You know what I'm saying? If she finds a way to come out on top of this situation, I would say it's well deserved, right? We'll see what happens. This is not something that's going to happen immediately. It may take months before they get to the bottom of this, but I also don't think it was wise to try to leave on a plane with joints in your luggage to try to go somewhere else. That is kind of low-key trafficking as far as narcotics. But again, if there was some sort of mishandling going on and she has it on video, hey, by all means, more power to you. Submit that shit, put it into discovery, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try to maintain humanity with any and everyone. You know what I mean? So I know it's easy to like laugh and joke, but I ain't never been in a cell. I don't know what the hell I would do for 5-6 hours in a cell. You know what I mean? She says, "Please, please, please accept my deepest and most sincere apologies. They sure did know exactly how to hurt me today, but this too shall pass." Now, the only thing I don't like is the sabotage narrative. They've been doing this over and over and over again, and I've tried so hard not to discuss it because you guys deserve to just get the good stuff. I hate involving you in anything that isn't for entertainment purposes only. That is a lie. I'm sorry. We will have another date for tonight's show shortly, and I'll probably be able to share it tomorrow. 1 July option and 1 June option is currently being discussed. I'll find a way to not only make up the date with the performance, but I'm going to create an added bonus for everyone that had a ticket for this show. Promise. She says she'll still be performing on the second Manchester show on the 30th. So that's still on the table for anyone that was planning to go there. And she says that she was still performing in Birmingham, which I believe was the show last night. She says, okay, Barbs, love you. Now, when she says, I don't like involving my fans for anything outside of entertainment, I think that is a bold-faced lie. When your fans go out here and dox people for speaking negative or just having an opinion that doesn't line up with the overall narrative that y'all be wanting, that is not entertainment. You know what I'm saying? So certain stuff like that, even doxing the pilot, your fans went out their way to do that. You didn't tell anybody to stop or not to do it. You didn't tell them that it's not cool. That's beyond entertainment. That's beyond the Call of Duty for somebody mistreating you to go ahead and dox them and put their information out there. So I disagree with that as well. That's not entertainment. That's just how I see it. And nobody's really going to change my perspective on that. However, if in the midst of all of this, there was some legit mishandling, I can say two wrongs don't make a right, and all of it has to be evaluated properly. So we'll say that much. All right. Furthermore, Nicki just came out about an hour ago. If this damn thing would just reset and get off my fucking page. She came out about an hour ago letting people know the official date for the replacement. Okay. So she says, okay, guys, I was just re-advised that we actually cannot do any other dates for the Makeup Gag City Manchester date besides June 3rd. So June 3rd is the new official date for all ticket holders who originally had tickets to the May 25th Manchester show. What else does she say here? I apologize for all the inconvenience this has caused. I really hope you can make the June 3rd show. It'll really be special. Ticketmaster will contact you to advise officially. Hashtag Gag City. Love you. All right. So all those Manchester fans, people in the UK that were planning on traveling to Manchester to see the show, you now have June 3rd as your official new date. She continues by saying the Barbs be hyping me up. Like when your friend who don't drink start dancing in the club after one drink and you want to hype her up so you can have really funny footage tomorrow to laugh at just in case she don't remember. Beyond that, while she was in Manchester, like how she just talked about the hotel she was at, she allowed her fans to come support her. So they came at like 2 a.m. They mobbed the streets and had a great time. I thought that was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was pretty disruptive to the city to have your fans storming the streets at 2 a.m. You know what I mean? But for a fan experience, I think that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? To take time out of your life when you don't have to do it and have your fans come rally around you. If Michael Jackson did that shit, niggas would have been looking at that with loving eyes. So again, for the sake of equality and humanity, I thought that was dope. B-Hop says, I wouldn't go back if they mistreated me so badly. Well, it's not Manchester. It was Amsterdam that held her up. Manchester was fine. Let's see if there's anything else to be said about Nicki on this. It's not a lot. I just wanted to do a quick update since I wasn't able to speak on it yesterday. I think that is the size of it. Moving on into today's talk, which I really just wanted to come talk to y'all for real, since I did take yesterday off. I really don't take many days. But I was like, man, fuck this shit, dog. I'm just gonna chill with my family. We do have, you say, swear Nicki thinks she got Michael Jackson status. Hey, to her fans, she is. I may disagree, but to her fans, she is. You know? We've got UnWineWithTashaK, who's come out talking about the fact that she lied about her affinity for getting peed on. Okay? That golden rain, that's what I mean. She says that it was a complete lie that she crafted in order to sell her card game. We're going to play the audio for that in just a moment. Give me a second to pull it up. UnWineWithTashaK, she does herself no fucking favors ever. every time she speaks, it's just why? All right. So we're going to play the original audio of when she was talking to Trina and getting into how she enjoyed getting urine on her. And now she's claiming she was just playing.
Guy pees on you? Pee on you everywhere? You like it?
I just like it.
You do? Freak of the week, huh? So you say take a shot. You say take a shot? Oh, we need a shot.
I'll take a shot.
You like go to the shower?
I do.
But like peeing on you?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just do something.
I'm going to be honest. Hold on, one more thing. I need something a little less. Right? So I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had a golden shower.
I did.
Did you? I've never had a golden shower. Like, I've given one. Oh, is that the same thing as squirting? Or
Yeah, they say that. I don't know. But
golden showers, meaning when the guy pees on you? Pee on you everywhere? You like it?
I just like it.
You do? Freak of the week, huh?
So that's audio from the Carisha Please episode featuring Trina. And they talked about this. So a fan came out and said, when I found out you love getting pissed on, I guess that's when she decided she was no longer fucking with her. UnWineWith comes out and says, I lied. A nigga never ever peed on me. I did that to promote my card game. She does the tongue out with money emoji. And it did exactly what I needed to do. Okay, so she says that this was just a joke in order to make some money. Now, if y'all ain't noticed by now, one of my favorite movies is Friday, man. Like, Friday got a line for fucking everything. Y'all remember when, when Smug said, man, where he just be playing? And Craig said, that nigga wasn't playing. That nigga said he was gonna smoke you, smoke my mom, smoke your sister. Name one nigga in the hood who play like that. He said he had a gun when you seen him. Name one nigga in the hood who play like that. That's my response to UnWineWith. Name one person with common sense who play like that on not live TV necessarily, but on YouTube in front of millions of people. You gonna tell the world you enjoyed it. Not only have you experienced it, but you said you enjoyed it. It just does something to you. Gives you butterflies in your stomach. Makes you feel all tingly inside. But now all of a sudden, it was just a joke. It was just a lie to sell some cards. Come on, man. I don't trust nothing about UnWineWith at this point. You know what I'm saying? What you trying to do, make a club out? What you trying to do, build a porta potty or something? Come on, dog. Come on, man. Name one person we know who play like that. Like, to sell some cards? What? Man. Who the manufacturer of all the cards niggas be playing poker with, Tonk and all that shit? You ever seen them come out and do some shit like that to sell some cards? You ever seen the Cards Against Humanity niggas come out and say some shit like that to sell some cards? If you gotta compromise your integrity to that level, let's just say you did lie. If you gotta compromise yourself to that level, perhaps it's a business that you should not be partaking in. Right? That's just how I see it. You would have been better off. You might have been better off just getting jumped off on OnlyFans for the same amount of money that you received for these cards. Because the way shit been looking in your direction for the past couple years, it's not promising. The future, we don't see it. The music, we're not vibing. The group where you made the most money, received the most notoriety and fame, disbanded in front of our very eyes via Twitter. Like, I don't know what your connection to Diddy is today, but perhaps he can help you make some smart financial investments to secure your future, because your public facing future does not seem to be intact. Good gosh almighty. Barbara just, hey, Smokey over there taking a shit. Hey, Smokey over there taking a piss on Young Miami for views. Come on. Highly disappointed, though. Highly disappointed. Not that I have higher expectations of her, but just as a person, as a public figure, why? Just so many mishandlings. You say she can't rap. What's she gonna do now? Great question. I don't have the answer. You said Diddy busy trying to pay all these lawsuits and stop more from coming out. Oh yeah, I know. You say, I think she is lying, but trying to distance herself, rebrand from Diddy. It's not working. Ain't no way you can distance yourself when you was all up on this man's nuts. Y'all go together real bad, real bad, real bad. Well, you gonna go down with him real bad, unfortunately, because you were an accessory. And he wore your ass just like one. That nigga was tapping in on you, tapping in on other girls, other women, and tapping back whenever it was convenient. And you willingly and happily did it. So continue. Get Right says they better get back together. The group was better than them solo. You talking about the City Girls? Even if the City Girls get back together, I don't think it hits the same. We already see they really don't like each other like that. It was already being speculated for at least a year that they don't fuck with each other like that. You know, they've grown apart. They've grown in different directions. Musically, they're just not important enough for a reunion to really matter. So I don't know. And with JT kind of finding success, chartering her own path, I don't think it would be wise for her to go back and collect Young Miami off the ground, if I'm being honest. I think JT's best bet is to distance herself from Young Miami as much as possible. She should be doing a song with every other woman in the rap game except her. If I'm going to be all the way 100. You did it without me while I was in the feds. Cool. I'm going to do it without you for the rest of my life. Thank you, please, and thank you. Thank you for your services. Now you can act bad with your poppy over there. Yeah, both their attitudes are egregious, but, you know, at least right now, JT is having a moment. And one thing about when you're able to create a moment as an artist, it creates momentum. And if she can grab it by the reins, it could pay off dividends for her. I don't think she's going to be, I don't think she ascends to the level of some of her other peers, but I think this is allowing her to like have a career. You know what I'm saying? She is doing the groundwork. She is doing the backyard boogies and the Sonny's barbecues and stuff like that. And we laugh and joke about that stuff. But to be honest, when you put that groundwork in, when you go put that work in, it does help you solidify a fan base. It does give you that hand-to-hand combat with your people where they can come see you, they can shake your hand, they can be taking pictures with you. They're going to remember those things. So the next time you come around, at bare minimum, they're going to keep showing up if you want to do a backyard tour again. And I think the next backyard tour should be called a backyard tour just to stick it to all of us that laughed. I think she should really run with that branding personally. But that's just me. Speaking of the diddler, you know, speaking of the diddler, it seems that he's losing more opportunity. Well, I wouldn't say opportunities, but he's losing more endorsements. He's losing more brand deals. He's losing more placements in retail. His Sean John glasses have been removed from stores and retailers. I didn't even know he still had an ownership stake in Sean John. But whatever it is, of course, it is in his namesake. So stores that are carrying Sean John glasses have now decided they no longer wish to carry them. Let's see. Do I still have that article? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Here we are. They're not naming. Okay, America's best contacts and eyeglasses are severing ties, per TMZ. Let me see what this TMZ article is talking about. Sean John out at America's Best. He won't be getting framed. You sure about that? Diddy's wallet's about to take a hit because his famed Sean John frames are out at a huge eyewear retailer while his legal troubles mount. America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses has halted sales of Diddy's company frames, TMZ has learned, with a rep for the company confirming the move as well. Stores received a message Tuesday, which was last week, to remove all Sean Johns from the frame boards and replace them with frames at an appropriate price point from understock. They put a hold on selling the frames and told the stores to wait for further instructions. Unclear what the company plans to do with the merchandise. They probably gonna trash them motherfuckers or put them in goddamn CVS. Sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ they began pulling the frames online last month and did the same earlier this week in brick and mortar stores. While the company wouldn't reveal the precise reason for the move, it's clearly tied to the public reaction following the horrific video showing Diddy and Cassie in that hotel hallway. Diddy has apologized, but lots of stars and normies have trashed him publicly, with many others keeping their distance. Lawsuits against Diddy keep piling up. Another accuser says Diddy S8'd her multiple times. She's being repped by the same lawyer as Rodney Jones and Liza Gardner. Basically, the future of Diddy's empire is looking pretty bleak. Okay? That's not all, though. If that was all, that might be positive for him, but unfortunately it's not. Okay? We've also got, what's this guy's name? John Ostrovsky, aka the Fat Jewish, who's claiming that Diddy threatened him after catching the fallen mogul spooning with another man at a swanky party. During a recent episode of the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, Ostrowski recalled a story he first told back in 2015. He said he was at a quote-unquote Black Excellence event at Diddy's Star Island mansion when he happened upon Diddy being intimate with another man. He says, I walked in a room that I shouldn't have walked into, and I saw him hooking up with a dude. Basically, like in a full spooning situation. You know, y'all know spooning. Butt to pelvis. Ostrovsky identified the man as producer Felix the House Cat. He claims Diddy spotted him and asked why he looked scared. Everyone in the room stopped. He said, I was like, is this the bathroom? According to Ostrovsky, he was told this is a room where male celebrities go to hook up. Sheesh. That's a lot. Yeah, he been telling his story for a few years. Is this the video here? Hold on, y'all. Let me see if this is the footage.
But one thing that was...
It is. Let me turn this down. That shit hella loud.
But one thing that was happening recently was that with the whole cancellation of Diddy, but this was something I've been talking about for years because it's like now a documented thing that I saw him like at a party in Miami and I took ecstasy and I ended up wandering around. We're in some mansion on Star Island and I guess it was his mansion. Walked in a room I shouldn't have walked into and I saw him like hooking up with a dude. Basically, like full spooning situation. This guy, Felix the House Cat, who's like a producer, whatever. I then told the story on a podcast, and then his people called me and were like, you need to say you were joking. Like, say you're a funny guy, and like you made it up for the views. And I was like, but I did not. I saw it. And he saw me when I came in.
Were you like a little scared?
Yes, because everyone in the room like stopped because I opened the door and was like, is this the bathroom? And everyone was like, no, this is a room where like male celebrities hook up. And then he basically had people call me and like threaten me and like tell me that if I didn't take it back and say I was joking.
And you still didn't take it back?
Confused, no. And
I feel like you did that on purpose. Like you're like, you wanted to see what he'd do to you.
No, I wanted to get killed by Diddy.
Whoa, he said he wanted to get killed by Diddy. Now, of course, he is joking there, but How much was you joking? Now, that prompts me to look into, well, who the hell is Felix the House Cat? Never really knew much about this producer. I guess he works in the electronic house techno big beat genre. But I'm not really familiar with him. Seen the name a couple of times, but I don't really know him like that. Felix the House Cat is an American DJ and record producer, mostly known for house music and electro. Felix is regarded as a member of the second wave of Chicago house. Okay. So he got popular in the 90s. All right. It's been around for a while. Let's see. Get this photo of Mr. Felix so I could put him up on the screen, just so y'all know who we talking about. I ain't trying to embarrass the man or nothing like that, but you know, it helps to know who we're talking about here, because how many of y'all know this man like that? Give me a second, y'all. So this is the producer, Felix the House Cat, that this man allegedly walked in on being groped by Diddy. Right? Then, didn't one of French Montana's producers come out and say Diddy was on some weird stuff? I gotta look this up too. Okay. Amir Prince came out a few days ago. This was about a week. Producer Amir Prince Motamedi, or Motamedi, however you say his name. He's worked with people such as French Montana, Waka Flocka Flame, and Julian Marley. He described a time in 2011 when he was speaking to Diddy about what he described as a deal involving French Montana. He says Diddy took a pass at him. He elaborated later, saying Diddy tried to blackball me because I didn't suck his Vienna sausage. That's not the word he used, but y'all know. 13 years I've been exposing this man. No one believed me till now. But he did point to the recent footage of Diddy and Cassie, which he assumed would make people change their tune. He says, y'all seen the videos today. Y'all should have listened to Tupac, word to 50 Cent. He says, I told everybody that Diddy was a bitch-ass nigga back in 2011. Excuse me. Right? But before investigating, he didn't know my roots with the music industry and Suge Knight. What goes around comes around. You know, when you say something like, hey, yeah, he didn't want to do a deal with me because I refused to suck his... A lot of times we think of that in a, a proverbial fashion, or hypothetically speaking, like, kissing the ass, sucking dick. But that nigga was dead serious. He said he didn't want to do the deal with me because I didn't want to really do that shit, man. Take it literal. Whoo, shit. But French Montana still did the deal. That's the crazy thing to me. You brought French to him in 2011. You didn't suck on his thing. You got blackballed. You got iced out of the situation. But French still signed with Diddy and Bad Boy even after it was over. So, damn. French Montana really wanted to be over there. Oh, shit. And that nigga ain't came out and said a motherfucking thing. He must have got his royalties back and signed that NDA because he ain't said shit. She said, show us this guy. The Prince guy. Let me see. Look his name up again. Amir Prince. Motamedi. Let me see if this dude even got photos out there. He does have an Instagram. All right. So we're just gonna have to take a screenshot of this guy real quick. Hold on, y'all. He looks like he's of Arab descent. Give me a second, y'all. So this is the gentleman that says Diddy tried to put the squeeze on him back in 2011. Brought French Montana to Bad Boy, said, hey, I want to do a deal with my artist. Diddy says, we could do whatever you want, long as you do whatever I want. Maybe if you give it to me, I'll give it to you. As long as you want, you know I got it. He said, fuck no. You can have this motherfucker. You can have him. Fred, you want to go over there? You want to come down here and play with these people? I'm out. Damn. That's crazy. Getting into the next. Wow. Let me go back to All Hip Hop because they got this other story on Diddy too. They got a lot on this nigga, man. It is so much coming out about this nigga, man. It is fucking, woo, shit. We are in a Cosby Kelly situation all over again. All right, according to allhiphop.com, they say the rumors are on fire. We have sources revealing the tactics allegedly used by the feds in Diddy's investigation, including attempts to drain his finances. There's been a lot of speculation about the status of Diddy and federal investigation he's under. They're hearing that this is an that this is an intense ongoing investigation despite the lack of charges or arrests. The latest news is quite interesting and involves a strategy that seems almost devious. This is all speculation, but it comes from a very reliable source, which is at this time unnamed. First of all, it startled me to hear, and when I say me, I'm talking about, this is the writer that's putting this down. It startled me to hear that the feds might be looking to bleed Diddy financially. The bad boy mogul, producer, and artist is known to be at nearly billionaire status, so reducing his finances is a very tough assignment, but I've been told that's exactly what they want to do. Do they want to weaken his ability to defend himself? Or is this just a malicious act? At any rate, that's what I was told. Additionally, I've heard they intend to direct a lot of energy toward the pilots of his private planes. They go on to say, I don't know what legal agreement he has with his flight team, but it seems like they may be the ones questioned relentlessly about what they've seen on those planes. The sources also want to focus on private businesses where he stayed, lived, or conducted personal business. I would assume that there were a lot of people who weren't paid off or sworn to secrecy. Someone in these places is saying something, especially when you see a video like the one released by CNN. You know there has to be a leak somewhere. They continue, it seems to me that Cassie Ventura provided the roadmap for the feds to continue their investigation. Honestly, the same applies to 50 Cent and his documentary, I believe. From what I know, all they are doing is going through the people, places, and things mentioned in the legal filing, which, of course, we're talking about Cassie there, which was settled out of court and following up. 2024 is going to be very interesting. I do find that interesting because I believe the feds did the same to Irv Gotti. When Irv Gotti was going through his investigation with Murder Inc. and Supreme Team and all of that stuff, when they were having their issue, basically the feds went to all of his label partners. So Murder Inc. had a deal with Def Jam and Universal. And the feds basically told Def Jam and Universal, hey, if you keep funding him, you're going to be investigated as well as funding a RICO. Right? So Def Jam and Universal cut him off, which means that they cut off his financial resources. He also had to pay all of his court fees, had to pay lawyers. And then his money train stopped. So I think he fought that case for a couple years. So he kind of went into a bad financial state. So if they'll do that to Irv Gotti, you best believe Diddy gonna be looking a little funny. You said you want to see the videos he stored? I'm gonna tell you straight up, I would not want to see none of the videos. I'll let somebody like you tell me what's in them motherfucking videos if they ever were to leak out. Yo, Lexi G, tell me what you saw in them videos. I will use your personal account. I interview you on the channel. Hey, Lexi G, come interview with me on Inside the Industry, 5 o'clock on this day. Tell me what you saw. I would rather not. Fuck that. They say Cassie had that tape the whole time and her husband made her feel confident enough to file against Diddy because she was scared to do it. I did hear some speculation that the hotel may have also given her a copy. You just never know. All of this is plausible and possible. When it comes to all of this, DJ Akademiks of all people decided he wanted to come out and give Diddy some advice. Wow. Let's see what this nigga had to say. I don't think he's in a position to give nobody any advice, but apparently he feels like he is. Let's pull this up for the people. I might as well share my screen because I ain't finna download this shit. Hold on. Let me take this down so I can put myself on here. Take this down as well. And just go right here.
Right now, like, yo, if you're not trying to get canceled, it's the only way to be. I think Diddy got to do that.
What?
I said there's 3 ways Diddy could get out of his situation publicly. I don't know about the feds. The feds might still get him. One, he got to come out, tell the whole world that he been gay or been bi, or that really he always identified as a woman. That's one way. Second way is to say that he mental health issues and, you know,
he's seeking
really,
therapy.
Yeah, he's, you know, he's been seeking therapy, this and third. The last way is to say he apologizes, but all his actions was because he was touched as a child. Yeah, only 3 ways. And people will be like, you know what? Oh, you got fucked too? No wonder you're doing freak offs.
Yo.
No, real talk. Like,
That's
again,
crazy.
Like, you know, we live in a land of trauma, and if people see you as a monster just enacting unwanted, unprecedented trauma without you at least leading up to like I mean, obviously he's not white. Like, remember the whole thing with like Timothy McVeigh, the nigga, the white like terrorist? There was like, well, let's look into his past. You know what I mean? I don't know if a black dude could pull it up, but I think Diddy's the closest one.
No, nigga. No. That's all I really can say to that. No, nigga. We not going for that. You thought. You say you hate the shape of that nigga face? Good God. Man. That got a weird case. Why is he around? That's terrible. You're gonna try to use the trauma of real life people and try to apply it to yourself as a scapegoat to get out of it. I mean, they did try the same thing with Robert. You know, they tried to say, oh, he was, you know, touched as a child. So maybe that, you know, man, fuck all that. Pray for your peace. You know what I mean? If that really happened, we don't want that to happen to anybody. But for you to turn around and inflict that on someone else, We not letting that shit ride. Fuck all that. You say his act slowly falling off, his mental seem all over the place and always on the wrong side. Personally, I feel like he thrives off of the attention. He thrives off having an opinion on any and everything, whether his opinion is right, wrong, left, right, or indifferent. He is the clout machine. You know what I'm saying? And as long as he gets the coins for being inserted into the clout machine, he's perfectly fine with whatever he says. That's my take on it. Sometimes he has accurate takes. Most times I don't feel like he does. With this one, I think he's way off base. And when I say off base, I'm not saying that there's no credence to it. Because if Diddy were to try to come out and use those things, I think there are some people in this world that are gullible enough to go with that, especially these quote unquote black king ass niggas. The black kings of the world, they will start using that. You'll get every black male empowerment podcast on YouTube to go up for the nigga. Honestly. They'll actually take that shit into consideration. Oh man, but y'all heard about the fact that that make me look at the whole situation different. Hurt people and all of that, man. And they deserve to get their ass maxed out. Pretty Melanin. Oh, hold on. Let me see what you're saying. J Nolan, what do you think about everyone in the industry, even Snoop, that doesn't want to admit Kendrick won? They either say nobody won or they both brought hip hop back in the spotlight. For this particular question, I believe that a lot of people in the industry do not want to burn the Drake bridge. Right now, it's very cool. It's open season on Drake as far as the fans are concerned. But as far as people in the industry, they do not want to burn the Drake bridge because he's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. All right, let me take this DJ Akademiks thing off if we're going to talk about that. He's not going nowhere. And I think they understand that he's not going nowhere until there's some sort of open investigation on Drake. Until they start pulling up actual witnesses and victims to the front to say whether or not there's credibility to all of the, grooming claims, to the pedophilia claims, all of that stuff. There's plenty of content creators out there that have the gall to say what they want to say and speak on it shit freely. There's enough people out there that have told their stories about weird shit that's happened. There's enough people out there that have talked about his father. There's enough information out there about the Baka Not Nice guy to where our public perception as fans, as consumers, as supporters of music are concerned. We see what's going on. But inside the industry, no pun intended at all, they're looking at this from the standpoint of we are going to have to do business with this nigga again at some point, right? In some capacity, and it may not have anything to do with music. As we know, Snoop Dogg is a entrepreneur in all facets, right? This nigga does music. He went and got Death Row. They're doing Death Row films. He's got liquor. This nigga Snoop Dogg would do a fucking candy bar endorsement if you bring it to him, and he may not even like the shit, right? Snoop was out here endorsing Just Eats, which is a low budget version of Uber Eats. So if there's a he's in business with Larry Jackson over there at Gamma. We see that Drake is over there at Gamma working with Sexy Red and 4Bats. So there's too many 6 degrees of separation between Snoop and Drake in particular, because they're making money with some of the same people. But then, if you just take everybody into consideration, even people like the Gillies of the world, the Charlemagnes, all of these people, they have some sort of connection to this guy to where they're going to keep it clean. They want to keep it hip hop. They don't want to see him go down. And if he does go down, we saw Charlemagne try to defend Diddy like a month ago. All of a sudden, when the tapes come out, whole new tune. Which is why it doesn't make sense to defend nobody. At the minimum, just say I'm gonna wait for all facts to be presented. Let me see what Lexi says. She just super chatted. Thank you, Lexi, by the way. She says, word is Drake is moving to Texas because the age of consent is 17 there, but I don't know. I mean, that's a reasonable idea. None of us know the exact reason why he's moving to Texas. The article that I was reading about that the other day said, he was going to be within about an hour or so of Houston. So he's going to have proximity to Jay Prince, which I don't understand why he would want to move closer to Jay Prince. Like, that doesn't help refine your image at all. So I don't know. I don't know what his master plan is. He has like 20 businesses that I haven't done the homework to see what they all are. But I would not be surprised if he goes into livestock and some other shit, because the estate that he did buy used to be a farm. Or at least it has farm grounds on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he goes into the livestock and production business for that. I think he has it's got like a huge greenhouse on the grounds as well. Agriculture. I don't know. You say don't believe what? I personally don't think he's moving. I don't think he's moving to Texas. He just bought property there. We don't know what that estate's going to be used for. It has multiple other homes available on the grounds. That could easily just be used for business. And state tax. Yeah, exactly. But let's keep it tall though. Even if the age of consent is 17 in Texas, let's be honest, that's even more incentive for someone who has been linked to younger people. I'm not going to put that on his name, but he's been linked to enough to say, even if that's not his primary agenda, for someone like that would be extra incentive. I'm just being honest. So all things are on the table. And I say all things are on the table because if there's anything that we've noticed in the last 5 to 7 years in entertainment, you can't put nothing past anybody. When people show you signs of weird behavior, it's best to pay attention and not overlook it. And if I were to sit here and say Drake is not a weird person, based on what I've seen about him, I would be lying. He's done some weird shit. He's done some questionable shit. So that's just what it is. I know you're a fan, Captain Kirk. I've liked plenty of Drake music. I liked Push Ups and Family Matters. I tell y'all this damn near every day. But do I enjoy someone's music over what's right? That's where the waters get murky. So that's what I say to that. They say the nigga be partying with high schoolers and 16-year-olds in Canada. I don't know, but there's people that have said that they've witnessed it. The shit is weird. It should never be nothing on that type of level, even associated with your name as a 37-year-old man. Sorry. We're going to keep the show rolling. We're going to get into rapper from Houston, Sauce Walka, who actually had an issue with Drake in the past. And his account of turning down a Roc Nation deal. So let's get into that, because we're going to have a nice little conversation about not only Sauce Walka, but also Bay Area rapper LaRussell, who also turned down being signed to Roc Nation. I know what you mean. Admit. I got you, Kurt. So let's first get into Sauce Walka, then we'll get to LaRussell. Da, 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 da.
3 years ago, you turned down a deal with Roc Nation. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
You had the song
Ghetto Gospel.
Yeah. Ghetto Gospel. That shit was going crazy. And they gave you a deal? They offered you a deal?
Mm-hmm. First, it was a record deal for $5 million with a respectable percentage, but it was a 360 deal where they got paid off everything. They got paid off my streaming and my touring and performance rights and all of that shit. And then I denied that deal, and then the counter offer was a management deal for the same $5 million, but the only thing that was excluded was publishing and merch. Publishing merch, and it was like some other shit. But basically, it was like a very intricate, fancy way of not being in a 360 contract, but something so close to it, it still made me feel uncomfortable, because it was like, damn. Once again, at that point, I'm already at a point where I probably got 20 artists at that time, 25 artists or something, but pesos are...
Baby doll, that's Sauce Walka. He's a Houston rapper. He's I believe he's independent, maybe signed to Kempire at this point, but he's been out for a while. He's had some viral songs. He's got a pretty sizable fan base. He's not nobody. I will say that much. I'm gonna let him go back to it though.
...of my lineup, or he's finna be, or whatever. But even still, from all the artists we got on TSF, if each artist is doing $5,000 to $100,000 a month on streaming, we cool. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, then that's another thing as well. I also learned that if I signed one of those deals, then I would have to give up the monthly streaming checks that I'm making and to suffice for the budget that I would have received from signing the contract. And to me, in a 12-month span, that didn't make sense for me or my artists to a certain extent, because like I said, it's a lottery. We might make $500,000 off streaming one month. We might make $700,000. We might make $200,000. But still, everybody getting paid every month, even if they couldn't drop music, if they couldn't drop a video, just off of the catalog and all the music that they have and the work that they've done, it keeps them making money no matter what. So therefore, you are in the control. You want to see, none of my artists can be shelved. None of my artists can be, set on the back burner where they don't have the opportunity to generate income off of having that music. But it is a heavy responsibility on them as well to keep the momentum up and stay hot and stay, interactive, where fans want to fuck with you and spend money with you or whatever, or stream your music. But at the end of the day, it didn't make sense for me to sign with Roc Nation, because I want to be a Roc Nation, and I'm trying to have the same structure and the same position as a Jay-Z has, and eventually I'll partner up with maybe like a distro company or another bigger company that understands what I'm trying to create with TSF, and we partner up and do that. You know what I'm saying? But that just didn't make sense. But I wanted to do the shit because I respect Jay-Z and I appreciate what he did for me in my career. That's why I went all the way through with the meetings and I went all the way through with the process, because I was very humbled and appreciative that, you know what I'm saying, he took the time out to pick me out of all them people and say that my song was the best song and all of those shit. That was a huge momentum shift and current changer for my career that I'm still to this day appreciative of. So, you know what I'm saying, I definitely wanted him to know. Like, they invited me to Beyonce concerts, all type of shit. You seen that shit. I was doing all type of shit with them at a point in time. But I just still felt I had a different place and a different mission that I wanted to accomplish. Like, I want to be on some Master P, on some Birdman, on some Jay-Z type shit. And I feel like I couldn't do that being up under him. You know what I'm saying? And basically, that opened up the door for Texas artists though, because shit, after that, you see 2, 3, 4 artists from Texas and from Houston deliberately got signed to Roc Nation after Sauce Walka said that and did that. So regardless if they wanted to respect it and think, oh, he bumping the end, well, damn, why all you motherfuckers got signed to Roc Nation after that then? Why they came out here, Snoop, they wasn't checking for y'all when the list first came out, what happened? Why ain't getting no offer then? Ain't nobody come off of y'all nothing then. I know it, yeah. That's the difference between me. Cause before I was trying to beat them things, like all the little record labels in Houston, like not even like, bro, this is the thing people don't understand about Houston.
Before I let him finish, I do want to put some validity to his claims, right? Savage says, so if I understand, Roc Nation offered him the same kind of deal Megan Thee Stallion has right now. I wouldn't say that. And I'm glad I had the opportunity to go ahead and interject here. I wouldn't say that they gave him the same offer that they offered to Megan Thee Stallion. It's very possible. But just keep in mind that Megan is not signed to Roc Nation as an artist. She's signed to a management contract with them. So they help her get brand deals. They help her with endorsements. They kind of help with marketing to a degree. But they only have so much resources that they can invest into the marketing. I mean, Jay-Z, of course, is a billionaire, but he's not going to spend his personal money on nobody, right? So they manage and they collect on her behalf. So they make sure that when she does a deal with Warner, that they're giving her the most favorable possible terms, which is what she ended up getting in launching her own label, doing a distribution deal with Warner, but still getting some of that marketing firepower. So I can't say that that's the same thing that they offered him, because they offered him to sign with Roc Nation for $5 million. That's a totally different thing. To be honest, I don't even know if he deserved $5 million at the time when they offered it to him, because that's actually a very big number. I think Central C signed for $3 million, and Central C is a much bigger artist than Sauce Walka. If we're going by numbers, but nonetheless, he declined that. And the reason why he declined it is, I did say Warner, right? Okay. But yeah, good catch, Captain Kirk. So Ken the Man, who's also from Houston, is signed to Roc Nation. Megan Thee Stallion is also signed to Roc Nation as management. There's also a songwriter by the name of Willie, aka Tia Gold, who's signed to Roc Nation from Houston. I had to look into who Willie is because I was a little bit unfamiliar. We're going to just do a quick little rundown on who she is. She's an artist, songwriter hailing from Houston, Texas, formerly known as Tia Gold. She released her first EP, Cry Baby, a few years ago. She ended up gaining some attention on her when she opened up for Doja Cat and Megan Thee Stallion back in 2019 at the Break the Internet concert. And I guess that's how she got on their radar. So in 2020, Roc Nation decided to add her to the roster. Since that time, they moved her out to LA to pursue her music career, where she writes for film and TV and has worked with Issa Rae's company Radio, which is very dope. Along with having a song in the highly anticipated last season of Insecure. So she had a song in Insecure. She also had music featured in the TV show Rap Shit. And she also acted as Mary J. Blige in Hulu's Wu-Tang: An American Saga. I did not know that she was acting as well. So all of those things came on the heels of her working with Roc Nation, right? So she's worked with Eric Bellinger, Sweetie, and others. So there's another Houstonian at Roc Nation. So there's at least 3 or 4 artists over there. Not only that, but Roc Nation also represents the Houston Dynamo, which is the Major League Soccer team in Houston. And they help them with brand deals and other forms of live entertainment to bring attractions to their stadium. So I don't think Sauce Walka's definitely not lying. You know what I'm saying? He says y'all should thank me because after I turned them down, they went to Houston to go look for even more talent, which they ended up walking away with. So that's how it go. China Doll, you gonna have to, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to get the fuck out the gate. I hope everything works out for you though. You say Maxo Cream is over there too? I didn't even know about that. So that's is that another? Shit, well they investing. Yeah, Houston's Maxo Cream Inc.'s management deal with Roc Nation. This was in 2019. So they definitely trying to put some oil lines in the home of the Oilers. I ain't mad at it. I'm gonna let him continue.
It's record labels and street niggas and athletes that's in Houston that's offering more money to street artists than these huge companies are with better contracts because they don't have the same business savvy or the same relationships that these companies have to where they feel like they got advantage over you. So you got real live street dudes or athletes or whatever the fuck, just people that's making money. It ain't got to be neither or. They could just be business people. It's business owners and like business tycoons in Houston that signing people for $700,000, $1 million, $2 million, giving them, I'm gonna put $500,000 on you in jury and in clothes and put you in the house for a year and a half, 2 years, and I'm gonna put this other money into you having you a car like Houston. There's a place that does that. Well, a random nobody will pop up in a strip club. He'd have made $5 million, $6 million off of his 18-wheeler trucking companies. Now you want to start a record label. Steel Wheeling Records. He got Steel Wheeling Records, big toe records around this motherfucker. And everybody in this record label got 18-wheeler chains, and he throwing money around there. That's Houston. That's hip hop period. But Houston is a place where you will see a nobody off the streets get lucky with a 6 to 7 figure deal, record label contract that's not with an actual label. It's with somebody that's just from the city of Houston that's trying to get into the record label. And that's what created some of the stars that we have in the city today. You know what I'm saying? And that's good money that's coming to Houstonians. So now when a record deal comes, the person talking about 5 million, 3 million, 2 million, or if the number's not right, it kind of don't sound right to certain Houston artists or certain people in Houston because people already got so much money. And I already had millions of dollars. So it didn't make sense too. It's like, damn, I'm finna sign for something I got. I can't sign a record deal for an amount of money. I always looked at signing record deals. Hey, pass me the other blunt. I always looked at signing record deals and contracts with major companies. It should be the same feeling as a college prospect from the NBA, for the NCAA to the NBA or NFL. I feel like it should be the same feeling, the same process when you sign your first rookie contract to your upgrade contract. If I'm not signing a contract that from the time I put my name on that dotted line, my entire financial life is changed from the time I stroke that pen, that don't make sense to me. Because I didn't come into this record label broke.
Look, Meek Mill recently spoke out. Keisha Cole, YG, Rowdy.
Bongello, you're absolutely correct. The label that Megan was previously signed to, 1501, was a label founded by Carl Crawford. He was definitely a rich baseball player. I think he had the biggest contract in the whole MLB at one point. So he definitely had like hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank and started 1501. He put money into her. Interestingly enough, he signed her and wasn't actually all that much of a fan of her music. He just signed a bunch of artists that was from Houston because he felt like whoever made it first was gonna give the label enough buzz to then start foiling out the other artists. You know what I'm saying? The song that put her on the map, Big Old Freak, he said he didn't even like the song, but they went with it because she was passionate about it, and it ended up working. So I'm kind of glad that she got the fuck up out of there, because she was in a situation where they didn't even believe in her. They didn't really have her best interests at heart. They just basically bet they chips on whatever artist he could get his hands on at the time and bring into his fold. So there's that. So that's another reason why I kind of disagree with what Sauce Walka is saying. Talking about there's so many people out there with money and they'll give you more favorable deals. The thing about getting the more favorable deal from somebody that just has capital in their corner is they may not know how to use that money. They may not have the relationships, as he pointed out. And just throwing money at the wall doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. I forgot there was a white rapper, and this shit is taking me back into history. There was a white rapper that came out around 2009-ish. And I think he was like this billionaire's son. And he was whack as hell, but he went out and tried to like get features from like all the hot artists in the industry at the time. His album was like completely stacked with any artist that you could imagine. And the album still flopped because no matter how much money he had, it didn't make him a credible artist. So that's another misconception about the game, is that money is just going to fix it. It doesn't. You could easily waste millions upon millions of dollars trying to work in this industry. And now, Pretty Melanin says, what does everyone think about the Central C song with Lil Baby? I think it was a good song, but most people don't like it. The beat fire. I'm be honest with you, I ain't even heard it. Like, the fact that not even Lil Baby could go make me listen to the song shows how far from grace Lil Baby has fallen in a very short period of time. We've talked about that a couple times on the channel. I mean, Carl Crawford, yeah. I mean, Erica Banks is gone. She was the next one in line, and she left last year. She got the fuck out of Dodge. You know what I'm saying? You said, wait, just got here. He talking about Drake. No, Sauce Walka was actually talking about turning down an offer from Roc Nation. He wasn't talking about Drake in this particular video. I think they've patched up their issues though. What was I finna say? Oh, and getting into the offer that Roc Nation gave Sauce Walka. He said they offered him $5 million up front, which he declined. They offered him $5 million, and he says, okay, that's great, but he has other artists up under him at his label, The Sauce Factory. And if he would have signed for that $5 million, Roc Nation was also going to take the royalties from not only him, but the artists up under him. I think that was a smart move for him to decline that, because Sauce Walka, although he may have other ventures, I think he was pimping out there in Houston, which I don't co-sign. But if that was his means of making some of his money, if he had other companies going on, if he was making money off his music, he was in a financial situation. He said he made a few $1 million to where he was financially stable, to where he could look at $5 million and turn it down. But then the other artists that are under him don't have the same level of financial security in their life. So if you cut off their ability to make their monthly royalties, those artists basically are going to have to go back and figure some things out. They're going to either have to go back to selling dope if they're not already. They're going to go back and be working at motherfucking Burger King, Walmart, stocking and doing shit, trying to stay out the way, working at Foot Locker and shit. And Roc Nation would then be getting all of the royalties coming in. So I think this was actually a very smart move on his part, because he already had the capital to sustain himself, which defeats the purpose of taking a record deal. And then you also got to look out for the personnel that's under you, because him as the label owner, it's not his responsibility to receive $5 million and then divvy it out to them, because they're not part of the ownership group, right? If he would have received that $5 million, that money would have gone into operational costs, marketing, day-to-day shit. So they were going to lose out either way. But a lot of people don't be knowing how that stuff be working. And it looks grandiose to see $5 million. But I think that was actually a very smart move on his behalf. You says, does Jay Prince have a slice of 1501? Personally, I don't know what Jay Prince's connection is with 1501. I think he was hired for consulting at a certain point, but I don't know if he was brought in as a part owner. I don't know that. So I'm going to go ahead and take Sauce off the screen, and we're going to get into LaRussell because he's another artist that did the same thing. He declined an offer from Roc Nation. And I always find it interesting when artists are able to take that stance in the grand scheme of things, because not everybody has the, has the gonads to do that. So give me a second and I'm going to pull up LaRussell.
When you the Roc Nation situation, when you asked about Hov, what was the thinking? What was they saying?
She was just like, no, he's not gonna be there. It was like, I guess, like I said, I was thinking too glamorous of it because of how I look at those things,
right.
And I don't think it was a malicious act. It's just like, I don't know.
Do you think that they really appreciated what you've done? Like, did the offer look like they appreciated the work you've put in, the money you've made, the sheets you can show?
Yeah, I think at that time the offer was very reflective of whatever value I thought I had then. It wasn't a bad offer. The original offer that came before the actual offer was a bad offer,
right?
And the parameters around it just felt funny to me at the time. You know, it was like there was no money in the original contract. It was like a $15K discretionary fund, and then it's like, oh yeah, come to the office. We come, and he like, how you feel about the deal? And I'm like, there's no money. And he was like, oh, it's a mistake, right? And he made a call, and they sent in a new one. Like, it was immediate, and it had money attached to it.
So you telling me that the original deal had $0 and they participated?
A $15K discretionary fund, but
right,
no
but
money.
that's zero. That's nothing, right? In the grand scheme of things. But I'm saying, and they had participation in the they had financial participation in the benefits of the music,
right?
With no investment, and they said it was a mistake.
And then after he said it's a mistake, the other one came that had the money. And it just didn't sit right with me to where I could do it, because it felt like, I don't know, that's a lot of money to make a mistake with. And even if it was a mistake, it made me start thinking like, if I would have signed the one with no money, would you have told me it was a mistake?
No.
And once I started feeling like that, it was hard to like, it's really hard to do business after that. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't come with no explanation. Even after like I did the interview with Math and we was talking about it and it went viral, it didn't come with like a call of like, no, bro, this is what, like a I just feel like a genuine would give you a call if they was ever trying to sign you to they and have you be a part of what they doing, but it didn't come with a call. Yeah. And I don't think it's ingenuine, but I just feel like need a call.
Right. And we respect Hov, but Hov is held to a standard as well. Like, he can't just do anything either. And
but he can.
He really can't.
Why so?
Because we can lose respect for Hov like we've lost respect for a lot of the greats.
Right.
We can change Hov's perception to the world, right? If enough people are going through things that are unfavorable and unfair and unwarranted, he's not above reproach enough.
Right. And that's actually exactly how I felt. I was just like, if you're too big in your journey to come holler at someone that you want to sign to your infrastructure and bring into your system, it's not a system I necessarily want to be in, because I want somebody who cares enough to be like, bro, I really fuck with you and I want you to come here and here's why. But I also get it. It's like it's a business venture that he has that he's empowered other people to run. So I understand it. Like I get
but
the
it's
logic.
running on the back of his legacy.
Right.
When we say Rock Nation, we say Jay-Z.
Right.
You know, and even when you sign the Rock Nation, when you go abroad or you go somewhere, you say, I'm signed to Jay-Z. No, I do business with Jay-Z.
Right, I'm signed to hold.
Yeah, this
you
is your thing. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so
right.
it's like, I think even him, I'm sure he respects that responsibility that comes with that.
But
should.
You know, also, it made me think, like, is he trying to go in the route of, like, where it's a Def Jam or an Atlantic? Because if you sign to Def Jam, you don't say, I'm signed to Russell Simmons.
No, but Hove come from us. So it's different. It's
right.
it's like your child or something. You know, Hove come out of this game.
It's family,
it's
right?
family.
It feel like family.
It's no, you got rich off this, off us,
right.
off this.
Right.
Nigga, I sold that shit you sold. I listen to you. We rap the bars you rapped. We come up under
right.
this, the same umbrella.
But you know, and this is why I got so much grace. I just need a call because I also like, though that is all true, we still not really entitled to anything.
Of course not.
Because sometimes, you know, when my fans, I have to remember that me giving anything I gave is enough because I never had to give anything.
Right.
Right. So that's where, like, I understand the human in the whole ordeal. It's just like, let's have a conversation.
No,
though,
but I still think, and that's the honest truth, man. Because don't owe no nigga nothing.
Right.
So that's more. That's,
right.
Like that's the truth, man. But at the end of the day, it's like, bro, right. We talking about. It's a lot of young men coming out the darkness.
It's like, I'm a young black independent nigga building infrastructure out of Vallejo. You know, I think that there's a due diligence for OGs, you know, in every lane to just be pat to the niggas who like my whole team is like, I seen Splash and it's like, no, this nigga's one of them. You got that due diligence, you know, to bro, that's culture.
Exactly. And I know Hove is tapped in because I've seen Hove with the Tax Stones of the world. It's like that don't get on your radar unless you tapped into the streets and our culture for real.
Hey man, big shout out to No Mel. She said, "Hey, niggas ain't getting assassinated like they used to." Oh man, No Mel be here with she be with the shits, man. They don't assassinate niggas enough no more. You know, that's funny because I was just saying that same shit the other day. In the privacy of my own home. You say, because I see y'all in the comments having a conversation about Jay Prince and stuff. And Crown by K is absolutely correct. When Jay Prince founded Rap-A-Lot Records out of Houston way back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was really no infrastructure. He kind of went against the grain. He went against the system. He was like Master P before Master P, basically. So that's why he gained a lot of respect. And then, of course, he had the street ties and he had the, all of that shit to make him such a notorious figure. But it does interest me how people like him do live so long. Because you would think somebody somewhere would have stepped up to the plate. Right? Get Right says Jay-Z screwed his original business that helped him get in the game. These artists gotta know it's all about a dollar. What you mean he screwed his original business? I would love to know what you mean by that. Let's see what else we talking about. Pretty Melanin says, I don't know why everyone put so much faith into Jay-Z and Rock Nation like that with the way Rockefeller record label ended. Business still business to him. Well, the benefit you get with working with Jay-Z is he has every possible relationship that you could ask for in the music business. If you're an artist, do I go to a label that I could be a priority. I could not be a priority. They may offer me a good amount of money, but I may never get paid again. You know what I'm saying? In that scenario, and then if or when I need help, who's going to help me get out of it? Or do you go to a Roc Nation, which is supposed to be an artist-friendly company, where I know that we've seen Jay-Z rescue people out of bad deals, right? We saw him do that with Megan. We saw him do that with Lil Uzi. Or at least add checks and balances. Because I think Uzi didn't actually get out of that deal with Generation Now. But they came on as advisory to basically say, whatever it is that y'all doing over there, y'all going to have to change some shit up. Right? So you at least have some sort of security blanket. You're going to probably take less money, but then you might be able to retain more ownership of your shit depending on where you're at in your career. As you can see, Sauce Walka said he was going to still retain his publishing. It sounded like LaRussell was probably going to be able to retain his publishing as well. When you go to some of these other labels, especially artist-run labels, one of the first things they take from you is your publishing. So that's another reason why people go to Roc Nation. If you look at the Roc Nation artists roster, just about everybody that we fucked with in the early 2000s is a Roc Nation artist. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people don't fuck with J-Lo, and perhaps rightfully so, but she's over there. Christina Aguilera's over there. Kelly Rowland is over there. Like, the Roc Nation roster is fucking insane if we actually want to go through it. Rihanna is still there. Alicia Keys. A$AP Rocky. I didn't even know A$AP Rocky was with them. Angie Martinez. We still in the A's, as a matter of fact. Belly is over there. Benny the Butcher. Big Sean. Buju Banton is Roc Nation. What the fuck? No wonder they be getting them features. Corinne Bailey Ray. DJ Khaled. I'm not surprised by that. He been there for a minute. Eric Bellinger's over there. Fat Joe. Ferg done dropped the A$AP from his name. He's still over in that bit. Free Nationals, who came on the scene with Anderson .Paak, is over there. J Balvin? What the fuck? Jadakiss, I knew that. Of course, Jay Electronica, but he ain't putting shit out anyway. They can't make no money off his ass. Who else? Kehlani? What the fuck? Kirby. Shout out to Kirby. She's super talented. Maeta, who's getting a lot of buzz right now. Miguel, he's been there for a minute. Moneybagg Yo, I was not aware. DJ Mustard, I was not aware. Nicole Buss, I remember her, super talented. I don't know what her next move is going to be, though. Rhapsody, we already knew that. Ruben Vincent, he's dope, but I don't know where he's going to go. Robin Thicke? Snow Allegra, I knew that. Tinashe, I think that's more recent. Vic Mensa, man, I fucks with Vic, but I don't know where he's going to go next either. Willow Smith, Yo Gotti. So when you look at that roster, there's a reason why everybody's over there. Of course, Cole, but I don't really count Cole because he does his own thing. A lot of them don't put anything out, but a lot of them are basically using the resources for touring and brand deals, because that's what they really specialize in, is touring and brand deals. Because remember, the nation in Roc Nation comes from Live Nation as the touring partnership. I don't know if I would count DMX, but maybe Swiss Beats, But I didn't see Swiss over there neither. Well, you got to think about it. There is really no cue to drop the music because they're a management firm. They're not really signed to Roc Nation as artists. They're just advising, consulting, and making sure that they, are in favorable situations. So if they want to go do another major deal, Roc Nation's going to be at the table making sure that all the paperwork is straight. Of course, with the assistance of attorneys. But if you look at Megan Thee Stallion situation, she's come out on top in all of her legal situations because she's using Jay-Z's personal lawyer. If she's not signed to Roc Nation, she doesn't get that access. Nah, it's not the OVO sweatshop. The OVO sweatshop is all your music. Oh, that's a fire song? Give it to Drake. We don't like that one so much. You might be able to put that one out. Oh, that's a good one. Give it to Drake. Drake's going to take your hook and rap the verses. Thank you. Damn. Pretty Melanin says, I didn't know all of them were signed to Roc Nation, so I may have misspoke about the label. I didn't know it was just for touring and marketability. Didn't know that it was mostly for touring. Now I understand why independent artists work with Roc Nation. Yeah, I mean, even the smaller artists, they stay on the road. Like Vic Mensa. He's got a pretty solid amount of music out, but he doesn't have like a slew of radio hits. He has maybe 3-4 songs that like reached mainstream success, but he tours every year. I haven't seen a year where he's not on the road touring. And he's not doing stadiums. He's not doing arenas. But they keep him on the road. That's his lifeblood. That's how he's making his money. He puts out an album, EP or whatever. You say, no wonder Nicki was mad. Like, damn, y'all got everybody and they mama but me. I think there has to be a reason as to why they didn't do the situation with Nicki. I'm sure they actually came to the table with something that would have been, considerable. But maybe it was a personal issue. I mean, even though Nomel say she don't fuck with J-Lo, just think of how much money and resources and stuff got put into J-Lo's last project. Even though I think she canceled some of her tour and had to rebrand it. But, they keeping her out there. They keeping her acting. They keeping her doing everything she could possibly want to do. You say, we're going to see how ASAP Rocky legal woes turn out using Roc Nation's lawyers. I don't know if he's using Roc Nation's lawyers. I read about his situation the other day. His lawyer seems very confident that they have footage that would clear him. ASAP's lawyer did make a statement about that shooting, basically saying that there's multiple text messages of homeboy, I forgot his name. Was it Relly? ASAP Relly? Basically reaching out to Rocky via text, basically saying, if you pay me X amount of money, I won't say anything. So they have what they feel is evidence of blackmail and extortion. So we're going to see how it go. I ain't sending no strays. Well, Roc Nation doesn't put money into projects unless you sign to them directly. But I think as far as the self-funding goes, didn't Hit Boy produce quite a few things over there? Hit Boy is very close with Roc Nation. He produces on every Beyonce album. He produces for Jay. So things like that, relationships, which in a situation where you're self-funding, it helps to have relationships with people that you could kind of get either reduced fees or people working with you on a pro bono type thing where y'all just split profits. You say Nicki on tour now, but when the last time she been on tour? I believe the last time she went was what, 2018? You say Wayne sold Minaj masters. Yeah, he sold the entire master and publishing catalog for Young Money, if I'm not mistaken. But I think that would be up to a certain point, which was fucked up, to be honest, because Wayne needed that money personally. He was in a lot of debt and shit like that. And Jay-Z even came in to help him pay off some of his debts. You say Nicki is still in a 360? I don't believe she's in a 360 deal. I will not put that on her name. Because she's no longer with Cash Money, Young Money, if I'm not mistaken, but it might be still credited on the album. Let me look up Pink Friday too. Because if they still eating off of her today, that's a problem. Because they ain't did a motherfucking thing for her. Sheesh. Pink Friday 2, released through Young Money Entertainment, Cash Money Records, and Republic. Good God. I was not aware. I thought they had been off her fucking stuff. I thought she had a direct deal with Republic. Signed to a nigga that signed to a nigga that said he was signed to that nigga. That's crazy. I didn't know that. You said, can I explain a 360? Why is it considered bad? So basically a 360 is where a company gets to essentially eat off of 360 degrees of an artist's business, right? So they come into the table, they're going to give you a certain amount of money. Let's just say $1 million for simplicity. And everything that you put out and do from that point forward, the label is going to eat. So if you put out merch, label eats off the merch. You put out albums, label eats off the albums. You go on tour, label eats off the tour. You get brand deals, label eats off brand deals. You find yourself in a TV show, a movie, label eats off all of those. Your music ends up getting used in a commercial on TV. Label gets a percentage of that. So they're going to take probably most likely the lion's share of all of those different avenues, which is about 8 different revenue streams. They're going to be eating off of all of that. And then you don't make any more money until you either recoup, which 90% of artists in the industry never recoup. So you're not going to get that money off of your streams and off of your sales. So most likely, let's say if you do let's just say a 5-album deal. They give you $1 million, 5-album deal. You're not making nothing, but of course you're going to eat off of the touring. You're going to get your percentage. You're going to get money off of all of those other things, the touring, the merch, the publishing royalties, all of that different type of shit. So that's what's keeping you alive, but you're not making any money off of the actual sales and streams. And then let's say after you put out the second album, you go back and renegotiate. You say, hey, this is great, but now I've gotten to another stage in my career. You know, I've sold X amount of records. I've done X amount of tours. I'm at this particular level. You go back and you renegotiate the terms of the contract. Most likely they're going to give you another advance so that you could go back and make album number 3. That could be another $1 million. It could be another $4 million, right? Which ultimately puts you in the red. Once again, they already gave you $1 million up front. So they got to recoup that $1 million. Now they give you another $4 million. Boom. You use that for whatever you use it for. Most people use it to live. But at that point, you're now in the red, probably $5 million or 4.5. Let's say you've recouped 500,000 out of that $1 million. Most people never even find out whether or not they've recouped, because in order to audit the label, you got to pay for it. If you want to go investigate how much money you've actually recovered in terms of, your record deal, you got to pay lawyers to go in there and audit. And that takes hundreds of thousands of dollars each time that you want them to go snooping around. That's how, if y'all can remember, Big Sean, he went on the Drink Champs and he said he got out of his deal with Good Music and Kanye. He said he had an issue with Kanye because he wasn't making no money either, because there was like a few $1 million that was missing out of the accounting that he never received. Well, the money made it to Kanye, just never made his way to Big Sean. But he had to go audit the paperwork to see that the money was sent to Kanye. Let me go back to the comments here. I don't think Cash Money would be trying to sabotage her though, because as long as they're eating off her, that's free money, because they don't have to invest in her no further. They don't have to do anything. All of her touring and all of that stuff is through whoever she's partnering with. So they're getting free money. Now, if we're gonna go off of what Ken Barbie said, and we gotta look at that with a watchful eye. He said that the last tour that she didn't her last tour before Pink Friday 2 get canceled or something like that? But there was money that was shelled out on behalf of that tour that was never paid back. So this tour was basically being used as collateral. I think she put up some of her other musical assets that were used as collateral with the touring company so that she could make them whole, which means that, she wouldn't be getting actually paid off of this current tour until that balance was paid up. I could see why she's doing another US leg at the end of the year, if that's the case. Because maybe, let's just say, for conversation's sake, if she was really in the red with a company that fronted her money, she goes and does the obligations of the American leg. She goes overseas to Europe. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you gotta hit a break-even point. So maybe when she comes back to America, she can pocket that as profit. Maybe she pays off everybody by when does the international leg conclude? July 11th? So let's say July 11th comes around and she's paid off all her debts outstanding. She comes back in the fall to the US and tours for probably another 8 to 12 weeks. Take that money home to the family. It's not a bad move. It's just you exhaust yourself like a motherfucker. So if her fans expected another album anytime soon, I doubt that it's going to happen, because she's going to need time to rest. And if she wants to go back out on tour, she's going to have to recover. Who wants to do that forever? Let me see what y'all saying here. You said when Meg tried to renegotiate, people got mad. That's why people need to stay, it's cool to talk about, but if your feelings are invested into an artist and their business, it's pretty smart not to. Purple says, no wonder she is mad at the new girls. They have a better situation. I would be mad too. Is she mad Jay didn't help her get out of her situation? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if she wanted Jay to help her or if she just wanted to be aligned. Because if I'm seeing all of these legacy acts from the 2000s era going over there, I'm sure she probably looked at it like, yo, what I got to do to get down with the squad? And I don't know. Maybe they was like, shit, we don't want you. I don't know. You say she signed her life on that Cash Money contract. I don't know. It sounds like, I mean, she been in it for a minute. What you mean Glow is trapped? Well, Yo Gotti did come out and say he definitely believes in 360 deals, so you might be right. Yeah, the label eats off the brand deals because they're gonna feel like you're not getting it. You're not gonna get access to these deals if you're not signed to us. Through Young Money, through Cash Money, through Republic, which means your money goes through 5 ninjas before you touch it. Remy 8 with that line. Sure. Those broke rumors make more sense now. Probably not true, but I can understand it now. I kind of feel bad for her hearing this. Not too much, though. Yeah, I don't, the term broke in entertainment is very relative. They're not broke like, regular citizens because they have access to always go get more. It's just that they be in an outstanding debt. So when people start talking about their net worth and all that stuff, that's all gravy. That's nice, but that's just the valuation of assets. So while she tried to down other girls, she's actually, wait, damn, where'd it go? So while she tried to down the other girl, she's actually the one in one. Cardi owns her publishing through her own What's Poppin' Inc. company, and Meg owns her master. So in reality, they making way more money. Now that's not to say that Nicki doesn't have her publishing, because Wayne can only sell the portion that he owned. That doesn't mean that Drake didn't get nothing. Well, they didn't get nothing, but that doesn't mean that they can't sell their own portion, right? Because if Nicki owned, let's say 50% of her publishing on all the songs up to a certain point, then that 50% is still hers, and it's still her decision on whether or not she wants to sell at a later time. But that's how that works. So when you see somebody selling somebody else's masters, it doesn't mean that they're selling the entirety of it, but they're selling the stake that they own. Hell no, no Mel said, and that's why I support her scamming that man. She got bill to pay. Damn, Glow. Sean's Budgeting says, the advice I was told in school was before you sign a deal, hire an entertainment lawyer out of house to read the contract. True. But not all entertainment lawyers are created equally. Please believe. Remy's wrapped up with some other issues right now. I mean, yeah, they keep trying to tie Remy in with other dudes. They say she cheating on Papoose left and right, sleeping around. I don't know what the hell Remy's doing. I personally don't believe any of those rumors to be true, even though popping out with matching watches did look crazy. The whole thing with Easy the Block Captain played out extremely crazy, and she was very quiet about it. But personally, I don't believe it. That's just me, though. Black Culture says, see, now I have to go investigate because I didn't believe the rumors. Okay. I already read these. I hate that Nicki is in this position allegedly. I want the ladies to pivot and retire in peace like Latifah. See, the thing about Latifah is she came into the industry. I don't know who advised her, but she launched her company early. She launched Flavor Unit like immediately. So soon as she got on, I think by the time her second album came out, she signed Naughty by Nature and put them out. And she had them niggas as her roadies for the first couple years of her career. So she was already grooming them to be artists, teaching them the ways, showing them how the impact of the road. Because Naughty still tours to this day. I don't even know if them niggas get along all that great. But she caught on early to like the business side of things. And off of the success of Naughty by Nature, she ate off of them. I think she put some other motherfuckers out too through that company. Then she went and did Flavor Unit Films and all this shit, which again has been a immense money for her. Even when the films aren't big, some of the films she puts out ain't even in theaters, but they're low overhead, low budget projects to where it's damn near all profit. So she made real smart moves. And then, of course, she went into jazz. She went into all that other shit that she did, acting. Very smart. Beaky says, does a 5-album deal include EPs and mixtapes? What if the label won't let you drop? No. The album only entails an album. If you put out an EP or a mixtape, it does not go towards your release commitment. There's a lot of artists that have had issues with labels because of that. Who else signed to a 360? We got to know. I would say at least 85% of the industry is in the 360 deal. Savage comes out, says JT, Young Miami, Sweetie, Coi Leray, Lola Brooks, Scarlett, Doja. I don't know if Doja's in the 360. She might be. Lotto, I don't know if Lotto's in the 360. Ice Spice, Sexy, they are all in 360. I don't know that to be true for all of those names. I would say the majority probably are. Look into Vince Staples. He speaks on this setup transparently often. I'm sorry, I love Nicki's music, but she seems problematic. She is. Queen Hornet says, artists should know by now that hometown studios don't care about you being from the same place. They will cut, gut, and serve you just like the majors. Ask Cash Doll. That's a fact. They're actually, a lot of times, these hometown studios or labels are even worse because they don't even have no business savvy. They just giving you money, giving you a chain, and they don't know what the fuck to do with an artist, which is why they still where they at. You say, but then she still doesn't own her full masters though, right? I would guess not. If she's still in partnership with Republic, number one, and then having Cash Money and Young Money, I'm hoping that Cash Money, Young Money thing is just for like solidarity. But if they really were a part of that and they own the shit, like, that's not a good situation. Chantel says, makes me think of the deal she tried to force Ice Spice into with her. She mentioned how she didn't question Wayne when she signed. She probably should have. That's a fact. I won't say that's a fact. That's a very legitimate sounding rumor. That's what I'm gonna start using. That's a very legitimate sounding rumor. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're gonna go off of what Homegirl said in reference to Ice Spice, Nicki did offer to take her publishing, to take her masters. And she even said, if you happen to write songs for another motherfucker, we gonna take that too. That shit was ruthless. Damn. You say Lordy Normani is probably in a horrible situation too. Her album has been delayed for over 5 years. Yeah, she's in a pretty bad spot. I must say, Normani's in a pretty bad spot. Her album's finally about to come out, it seems like. So I'm glad about that. But, you know, she's one of those RCA curse artists, unfortunately. Reese, let me see what Reese talking about. Says passing through to bless the plate, especially since you used to live out here in the Bay. Good to see your foot still on the pedal with good content. Yay! Big shout out to Reese Black. Yeah, I used to live out in the Yay when I was a little, you know what I'm saying, little whippersnapper. You know what I mean? I was out there for about, I'll say about 3-4 years in my adolescence. Said Nicki could be in a 10-album deal. Oh no. I don't know. I think Gloss Up is in a bad deal. P gave her a car. A car being given makes me think of old school Berry Gordy deals. Yeah, I mean, you gotta think Gloss Up is signed to QC. She hasn't had like super mainstream success as of yet. So who's negotiating on her behalf? Probably not the best situation. Say, is there an artist that's living in a great 360? Because all those names, I don't see them living a life better than a first-year doctor or lawyer, if that. Well, I'll say this. Artists still make money in a 360, right? You're just not making none of what you could be making. So if you're having like massive success, you got to be like real big shit though. You could be making pretty good money. And hopefully at some point you start forming the right relationships throughout your career. Cause that's really what's going to pay off dividends for you is you develop a plan, you develop leniency within the company that you're working for. If you stay with them for like 10 years, they might allow you to eventually buy your masters back. It's not going to be cheap, but they may have some form of leniency towards you. She had a lot of things impacting her too with her parents and the label practically shelving her like they tend to do with their singers. SZA and Doja went through it too. Yeah, Lakia is definitely in purgatory. Damn near in hell. So Diddy had Cassie in a 10-album deal, only one released. Yeah, I think she was supposed to put another album out. What was that, 2016? The year when a lot of this crazy stuff happened. SZA may be the one rare artist that is in a good 360 deal. I don't think SZA's in a 360 deal. I highly doubt Top Dog would have put her in a 360 with Sony or RCA, excuse me. Because if that was the case, if RCA came to SZA with a 360 deal, they would have just kept putting her music out straight through TDE. I don't think they would have accepted it personally. Little Liars. Basically, yeah. They're generating money for the label, but not for themselves. A portion of it goes to themselves, but not off of the actual main asset, which is the music. No. Queen Hornet says, I like Lakia, one of my faves. Rennie Rucci deserves to eat too. Rennie Rucci can rap. Lakia can rap also. I think one of the issues both of them have is they just don't have that spark, that I have to be invested into what they have going on. Not every artist is going to have that. Not every person is going to have that, you know. But Lakia got to get on her hustle though. And that's why we saw that on, if you watched the Impact ATL with Lakia, she was kind of like a sitting duck half the time on that show. Like P and Q was like, yo, you got to go in the studio. You got to make more music. You got to get out here and hustle. And she was still trying to figure it out. Like, well, what do you mean? I got to get out here and hustle. Tell me what I need to do. They linked her up with Sweetie. Sweetie basically told her the same shit. Oh. But that's another reason why signing a record deal with your management company is probably not the best thing to do. You would think that you would get the best of both worlds, but then who's advocating for you on your own? Personally think if anyone is going to be an artist, they have to find a way to eat that doesn't solely depend on music alone. Try to go for the Rihanna model. That sounds great on paper. It sounds great in conversation, but Rihanna is Rihanna, right? Beyonce is Beyonce. Like, everybody not gonna have that. So that's where it gets tricky, because you can try to be like, oh, I want to get brand deals. I want to drop perfume. I want to drop this and that. All right. Who's gonna partner with you? Who is going to pay for it? Who is going to pay for it? You got to show that you got to at least be successful musically in order to show these other companies that you're worth their investment. Unless you're Sweetie, right? Because Sweetie came in and they just said, hey, pretty girl, put her on TV. Pretty girl, let's do a McDonald's deal. Like, she benefited off of pretty privilege, and, you know, everybody's not going to have that luxury either. So it's tough. I think, you know, unfortunately, just coming into the entertainment business as a whole, it's extremely hard. It looks glamorous. It looks beautiful. It looks like it's the shit on TV. This shit is a lot of sleepless, painful nights for a lot of people in this world, especially when you're trying to figure it out and get to the point where you can actually do something that's favorable for yourself. A lot of people got to eat shit for damn near 10 years and look and smile through it. You know what I mean? Then they finally get their way. SZA's actually not signed to Kendrick. Please don't spread that. She's not signed with K-Dot. She's signed to the same label that he was at, but she's not under him. No Mail is hilarious. Sweetie having to be the one to tell you to be a better artist is fucking crazy. Shit. Lala says that's true because I would buy Nicki chewing gum. I mean, did you buy them shoes? Did you buy the shoes that Nicki just put out? Them Italian joints. Thank you so much, Pretty Melon, and I appreciate it. You know, prior to me doing this Inside the Industry show, I was really giving out a lot of information to artists. I kind of pivoted out of that, you know, to a degree, simply because one thing you can't teach artists is ambition and discipline, right? So I was putting a lot of energy into trying to educate artists, and I felt like my efforts were just falling upon deaf ears. You know, I was doing daily content across socials and felt like my information was ultimately being undervalued. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun and do what the fuck I care about. I'll catch y'all niggas on the flip side. If you really need help, pay for a consultation. You know? See where that got Carrie Hilson. You mean you're talking about pretty privilege? I think with Carrie, she had the opportunity, but didn't she basically she gave up her career when she started fucking with Serge Ibaka? I don't know why the fuck she thought that was a smart move. You don't give up your career to fuck with Serge Ibaka. That nigga was slanging through the whole East and West Coast. Now she going back and talking about a new album, going on tour. I hope it's good though. Good observation, Beaky. Says, I think you have to be multifaceted, maybe produce, write for others, YouTube, etc. Well, see, that's the thing about being independent. And I can't stay on here too long because I'm gonna have to go. It's already been 2 hours. But the thing about being independent is you can produce, you can write, you can do YouTube. I encourage anybody to do it for real. If you at least have a real voice, a real vantage point, something real to talk about, you're coming from an authentic place, I encourage everybody to try to put your personality on display. But that's what sustained me while I was, in my transitional phases. You know what I'm saying? I was writing for a lot of different people. I was writing for smaller artists. I was writing for people that, if I were to compare myself to them, they were even smaller than I am. You know what I'm saying? Just taking the money or taking whatever, writing songs for TV and film. That definitely carried me for a nice minute. Just writing songs for commercials, writing for advertisements, writing songs for other podcasts, stuff like that. And I'm not sharing that money with nobody because I'm doing it myself. So there's ways to survive. There's ways to create revenue streams. I built my business to about 6 figures doing that. But not every artist has, like I said before, ambition and dedication, discipline. So it just depends. Oh, you say you would not. Yeah, she did put out them press-on nails. That's true too. Why? I don't know. But she did. Remember when she had the malt liquor? I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know nothing about that. I didn't know she did a malt liquor. What type of undercover brother shit was she on when she did that? A malt liquor? Slip malt liquor. What? Damn. Instead of doing a tequila or vodka, you did a malt liquor? Hell no. You did jingles? You should make one for us. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I've done plenty of jingles. I jingled myself the fuck out. I was jingling, baby, on some LL Cool J shit. So much so that I've actually, in the last 30 days, I said, man, fuck writing for these other people. I have friends that eat off their releases on music streaming services. Yeah, I mean, if you're able to find success in music streaming, that's a very tough game to break into, especially when it comes to consistency, because you could have 1 month or a couple months that are great. I'm attached to a pretty successful song that I featured on with this artist by the name of Futuristic that pays out pretty good royalties. He's a very good streaming artist. He gets millions of streams per month. And I got a song with him. So, that is something that's there, but it's tough to crack that cookie. So I always thought Carrie got blackballed for insinuating that Beyonce need to sit down and have some babies. She did. I mean, I wouldn't say she was blackballed from that. She was I think she had a period of time where people probably backed away from her for making that, because if you say something about Beyonce, it's just like I was talking about with Drake earlier. Do you really want to burn the bridge with Beyonce, or do you want to burn the bridge with a Drake on behalf of Carrie Hilson? No. So it's like we're gonna fall back. That doesn't mean that we can never do business, but it may be a while. Let's let everyone simmer down first. But at a certain point, I think, she went and did acting. She was in Think Like a Man or some shit like that, and some other stuff. She could have come back and released music independently. She could have been dropping independent projects for a minute now and probably made good money just off of her fans, the same fans that are tuned into her today. She could have been making money, but she chose not to. Oh, it was Sparkling Moscato. I was about to say, I know she ain't do no goddamn malt liquor. Yeah, I'm like, I know she ain't put out no fucking 40 ounce. What the hell? What the hell? Is the jingle business good? It can be. It just depends. I've done songs for like Comcast and Netflix and all type of shit. And those aren't all, not all of them are jingles, but it can be. Because you could get paid thousands of dollars up front for certain projects. Some projects could be royalties only. Some projects, you might go and I write for publishers. I've got music in Universal's publishing catalog. I've got songs in Sony's publishing catalog that end up getting used for different TV shows and films. I got a bunch of stuff in like VH1 that comes out all the time. All them fucking Black Ink shows. I don't know how many fucking Black Ink seasons they gonna keep making, but as long as they keep making them, I'm eating. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. Sports networks, all that type shit. But you really want to get in the real money maker is if you could get your songs in film trailers and advertisements. That's where the real money is. TV shows is cool. Getting songs in movies, that's great too. But them ads, you can make it easy like 20 racks off of 60 seconds of your music being in an ad. It's not easy to get to, but it's there. Carrie think 5G is COVID. God damn. I forgot people was on that wave. Okay, sparkling wine Moscato. Okay. All jokes aside, it was sparkling wine, y'all. Not no old English. Say Nicki should produce for Zeus. Gag City Baddies. Games too, yeah. I've had music in games too. I was in 2K22. I'm in this other basketball game that came out earlier this year. It's a smaller game than 2K. So that's also available as well. So I've been wanting to get into voiceover jingles. It's hard to crack into. Well, voiceover I think is a little bit more accessible than jingles. Cause they got sites where you can, just sign up and do voiceover work, and you could get down near $200, $500 a pop, depending on the length of the voiceover, just to build credentials, and then you can start sending that stuff out to like the production companies where they can even pay you more. So, yeah, y'all, I think that's my time. I've been on here over 2 hours. This was a great talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that I was able to get on here and just have a Memorial Day chat with y'all and just talk about what's going on. But now I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Much love and respect to everyone that tuned in. I appreciate everybody that liked and shared the video. Be sure to like and share it on the way out so other people could come back and watch it. And I'm going to catch y'all a little bit later. Much love and respect to the whole squad, all my insiders, what it do. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, and I will check back in with y'all shortly. All right? Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.